seeing the programming of the populace has failed, or at least fallen behind the rest of the ongoing Zionist agenda for war. We are supposed to be amnesic, or at least willing to deny the facts. Demonstrably this has failed. Many are now asking questions and establishing the facts for themselves, rather than simply swallowing the current party line. In 1984, Big Brother said, "We have always been at war with East Asia." And in truly Orwellian fashion, those that seek to control seem to think that we should not be able to think back to 2003 and the United Nations Security Council meeting, where the eloquent Colin Powell showed the world cartoon Iraqi scientists working in 7 secret mobile laboratories on trains, creating ever more WMDs to use against us because they hate us for our freedoms. This assertion and the subsequent invasion of Iraq were, of course, based on solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Bibi presented us with Wile E. Coyote's bomb based on solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. The same solid, reliable intelligence, incidentally, that gave us Mohammed Atta's meeting in Prague. The same solid, reliable intelligence that gave us yellow cake uranium. The same solid, reliable intelligence that gave us Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The same solid, reliable intelligence that gave us 40 minutes away from London being hit by Saddam's WMDs. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Keep saying it over and over, and it might come true. Iran could have the bomb by the middle of next year. Iran could have the bomb by the middle of next year. Say it again, citizen. From the same reliable Israeli intelligence that told Shimon Peres to say back in 1992 that Iran would certainly have the bomb by 1999. The same Israeli intelligence that on February the 15th, 1996, persuaded Israeli Foreign Minister Ehud Barak to tell the United Nations that Iran would be able to produce nuclear weapons within 8 years. This, of course, was based on solid, reliable Israeli intelligence, unequivocal and completely reliable Israeli intelligence that should never be brought into question. The accusations of anti-Semitism waiting to pounce on anyone that dared to question that reliable Israeli intelligence were palpable. With the internet, people are seeing the facts, joining the dots, and discovering the truth isn't always what they have seen on the news. The fact is that Iran has allowed the UN inspections, has passed them all, has less uranium refined to above 20% than they had 2 years ago, so are less capable than they were back then of making a nuclear weapon. That's what the latest UN report says. But Bibi sees that somehow, as they will have nuclear weapons by next summer. This is interesting rhetoric because it comes from a rogue atomic power. A rogue atomic state that as a matter of national policy invades other sovereign states, practices apartheid racism, steals land in direct contravention of the United Nations resolutions, has created a ghetto, which is to many the direct equivalent of the Warsaw Ghetto in World War II, a war crime when committed by the Nazis, but ignored when practiced by Israel. While they laughably call themselves the only democracy in the Middle East. I digress. The subject was Iran's plot to overthrow the civilized world, despite not having invaded anyone for hundreds of years, because of course they hate us for our freedom, not our proclivity to invade their country and steal their natural resources to compensate for the cost of the invasion and the installation of a puppet regime. If, God forbid, the natives get uppity and have an election, and then vote in a man whose main policy is to throw out the American and British oil companies and nationalise the oil industry so as to profit the country, not America and Britain. You can always spring a war criminal, Nazi collaborator from jail, to lead a coup financed by America and Britain to install what Amnesty International later called the most oppressive regime in the world, one that used kidnap, torture and murder as their favourite national policies. Iran got sick of the Shah in the 1970s and held a revolution to get rid of the West's puppet. Ever since, Israel has been providing reliable intelligence about Iran's atomic weapons. Simple observation of the historical facts indicates demonstrable lack of veracity therein. Yet it is Israel that has refused point blank to sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Iran is already a signatory and is in complete compliance with it. Israel has recently been caught trying to sell atomic weapons to South Africa. Yet it is Israel demanding the United States, Britain and their allies form another coalition to invade Iran based on solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Israeli intelligence says, put your hands on your head. Israeli intelligence says, invade Iraq. Israeli intelligence says, put your hands on your head. Israeli intelligence says, invade Iran. Invade Iran. Invade Iran. Invade Iran. Say it loud, citizen. You could be construed as an anti-Semite if you fail to do so, or called Jew-hater if you express even the slightest doubt relating to that solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. Solid, reliable Israeli intelligence. You keep crying wolf, and eventually you are perceived as just another liar in a world with a glut of those already.